Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to the IMU Year 2021 Open Day Live Talk. My name is Dr. Megan Chong and I'll be your moderator for today. In today's session, we are fortunate to have three speakers with us who will share with us about employability and career opportunities in nutrition and dietetics. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the talk. If you have questions for the speakers, please type them in the Q&A panel. Without much ado, I'll invite our first speaker, Dr. Winnie Chee Sui, a distinguished professor from Division of Nutrition and Dietetics, IMU. Prof. Winnie is also the Dean of the School of Health Sciences and the President of Malaysian Dietitians Association. She is also a council member for Malaysia Allied Health Professions. Prof. Winnie, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Megan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this open day talk to introduce the profession of nutrition and dietetics. And I will just share my slide now and let me know if you can see my slide. All good? Yep, Megan, can we see?
Can.
Yes, all right, great. So in this short session that we have, what I will do is to introduce the profession. I'll be talking about recent developments in nutrition and dietetics profession in Malaysia, share with you some employment opportunities, and then we also have two of our alumni, Seow and also Raanita is with us, and later on they will be also sharing what it's like to work as a nutritionist and a dietitian in Malaysia and talk about their experience, right? So with that, what we're going to do is talk about what can you do with a nutrition and dietetics degree, what is the employability and career opportunities that you can have. Now, I don't know if many of you recognize this lady, probably not unless you're very interested to look for a Guinness Book of World Record, because this is Miss Kane Tanaka, and she's actually 116 years old. So she was actually recorded as the oldest adult in the world, but in 2019 by the Guinness Book of World Records. So when you look at longevity, of course, a lot of people are very interested to now live longer, right? And even in Malaysia, the life expectancy has also increased, particularly more so in women. And this has actually raised a lot of interest to find out what are the factors that can cause people to, that can help people to live longer. And of course, one of the key things is diet. Now, what you see here is Japanese diet, and I think many of us love sushi. We like Japanese food. You can tell from the popularity of Japanese restaurants in Malaysia. Now, if you compare Japanese food and Japanese diet to Malaysian diet, you can see how healthy it is. And there are lots of studies now showing that Japanese people have actually gained their longevity because they know how to balance their diets. There is enough adequate amount of carbohydrates, proteins, it's low in fat, it's got of soybean or tofu that actually helps with longevity and ensuring the continued health of Japanese people. Now, because of this also, it also means that you need professionals who actually can help the individual plan these diets and to advise the public also what is the best choice of diets to do. Now, our country is also facing a very high prevalence of what we call non-communicable diseases. I think you know that Malaysia for quite years now have been, top in terms of obesity rates, not only in adults, but also in children. We also have one of the highest rates of diabetes. The recent National Health Morbidity Survey shows that we got worse. There are more prevalence of diabetes than ever. And at the same time, heart disease is the #1 killer for most Malaysians. And these are all lifestyle diseases. And we know for a fact that there's enough evidence healthy diet can reduce the risk of all these diseases and also help people to gain a healthier body weight, which is the mother of all the diseases. And because of the rising trend of this worrying condition where a lot of Malaysians are unhealthy and do not practice a healthy diet, more so we will then need the right profession that is trained in this to be able to advise individuals and communities and the public what is the best diet to choose. If you're interested in doing this, then you have come to the right talk, because that's where we're going to be focusing on in terms of the professionals of nutritionists and dietitians. Now, while I was researching for this talk, I wanted to know globally, what do people think about this profession? And there's this website called Career Profiles. And this is the most recent one. This was actually updated in 2021. And they actually listed down the 10 fastest growing allied health careers. That means career that are related to the health and medical area. And dietitians and nutritionists is actually listed as one of the top 10 fastest growing allied health profession in America. And similarly, you can see that trend increasing around the world. So we need specialists who can actually emphasize healthy lifestyles, right? And also plan and oversee nutrition programs. Government need to have these kind of programs because their population is getting more and healthy. So not only in Malaysia, but also globally as well. So it's good to know that dietitians and nutritionists have been actually recognized as one of the 10 fastest growing allied health career, and almost every country is giving emphasis on this profession. So in Malaysia, what is it like then? I think not only in Malaysia, but also in the Asian region. I think if you look at the economy, now the booming industry here, food being the global health and wellness food market actually has been growing all this while. Even more so with the current MCO and the COVID pandemic, people are also aware that your nutrition status and your diet, right, may be very important right now to ensure that you have a strong immune system, and also, if in the unfortunate event that you contracted COVID, we also know that those who fare the worst are those underlying comorbidities. And these comorbidities are related to diet and lifestyle. Diabetes, for example, or high blood pressure, and also heart diseases. So food now has been recognized more and more as important as the new medicine. Not everybody wants to take drugs. Not everybody see that taking medicine is the way to overcome, for their diseases. In fact, there's more and more importance, right, even by doctors now, to actually emphasize on lifestyle and emphasize on diet as the new medicine to prevent diseases and also to manage diseases if you already have them, right? So if you look at the exponential growth in food-related industry, not only in multinational, but even small, medium industry in the country, right, that they also need to go into health now. So I'm sure you have seen, low GI or low glycemic index roti canai, brown rice, healthier options of wholemeal bread, biscuits, and so on, low salt, low sodium, low sugar. All of these touches on nutrition and dietetics, right? And therefore, they need to hire the right profession, right, in order to educate their consumers about it. And consumers are actually hungry for evidence-based science. Nowadays, you don't know where to get the right evidence when it comes to diet and lifestyle. I'm sure if you trawl the internet, you don't know whether what you're reading, is it or not? Does this supplement really help or not? Right? And you get all these different health professionals and even sometimes coaches and all that, promoting certain things. So you want to be sure whether is this evidence-based. So the right profession that actually is being trained in this area is our profession, that is the nutritionist and the dietitian. And the good thing about it is that for this year, we are actually going to be regular. In fact, last year, the law on the Allied Health Profession Act has been passed, right, by the Ministry of Health. And this would mean that by this year, all dietitians and nutritionists are registered and regulated by law in Malaysia. So this is indeed a huge boost for our profession, because it will then ensure that nutrition and dietetics are being practiced only by trained professionals. So not everybody now can call themselves a nutritionist. Not everybody can call themselves a dietitian. It is now a legally protected title, right? So the profession, what this act also covers is that even employers, if they are venturing into areas related to nutrition and dietetics, it is an offense for them if they don't employ the right registered practitioner. So I think with this act, it not only it protects the public to make sure that the public gain the knowledge and the know-how to use nutrition for their health from the right profession. Okay, so this that it is a big boost for the profession. And it will also ensure the quality, not only in training, but also in practice, and to make sure that we as dietitian and nutritionist has to continue to do continuous professional development to make sure that our skills is always up to date with the latest science, right? So this is the most exciting development in our profession. And by this year, all the graduates, existing practitioner as well as future practitioners will be registered with the Ministry of Health. So I think I use the word nutritionist and dietitian, and I think it's very important, and not many people, and there are people still who are confused between the two professions. Now, we know that overseas, these professions may have come together. So you see nutritionist and dietitian being used interchangeably, right? However, in Malaysia, because of the historically, nutritionist was the first profession to come, and on evolved in, dietetic courses started to be offered in the public universities, and now in private universities like IMU. So we do not combine the two professions. So nutritionist and dietitian are registered separately under the Allied Health Act, but the scope of practice is very important. So whilst the base of it is on nutrition science, where both the profession are trained in nutrition science, the scope of practice differs. That for dietitian, we are trained to treat medical condition through the application of medical nutrition therapy. So if you have someone with diabetes, if you have someone with high blood pressure or with heart disease, somebody who has cancer, you have got children who may have failure to thrive, all aspects of medical sciences, actually, there is always a diet that is suitable for them, that they need to be treated by a dietitian. This is called medical nutrition therapy. So if you decide to become a dietitian, you will have to undergo clinical training in your course in order for you to be working alongside in the medical profession to provide medical nutrition therapy. The nutritionist, on the other hand, works more with public health sector, right? So when it comes to public health, when you're talking about prevention of diseases, when you're talking about generally promoting healthy eating, then the nutritionist would suited for this role, and that is within their scope of practice. So how do you make a decision whether do you want to be a dietitian or do you want to be a nutritionist? It depends on where your area of interest lies. So if you think you want to work more with people with diseases, then you should be taking up the course as a dietitian. But if you're more interested in preventive, you're more interested in promoting healthy eating and not going into the medical area, then you can then choose to be nutritionist. Yeah. So, so what it's like in terms of our, prospects. Now, this is actually an excerpt that came out in 2019, just before, the whole COVID incident came, that the Ministry of Health, and actually they always do projections for how many healthcare professionals that we need in the country, right? So this was mentioned by the former health minister, that there's actually a need for dietitians because there's more and more cases now of non-communicable diseases. As you know, 40 over 1,000 cases of type 2 diabetes, and they all need to be treated, not only in not just for diabetes, but he used diabetes as an example, and therefore medical nutrition therapy consult is very much needed. Not only that, in dietetics, many areas of medical care requires a dietitian. So if you are a dietitian, you can look into focus areas and specialized areas like working with pediatric patients, working with ICU patient or critical care, working with diabetes patient or kidney failure patients. There are many aspects that require dietitians there. So if you look at our country and this, the explosion of diseases in our country and the need for dietitians, we are very far behind compared to the rest of the world, and therefore we need more dietitians. But similarly, although the action, I don't have the slide for nutritionists, I think we also need a lot of nutritionists in the population. We cannot wait for people to become, to have diseases. In fact, we need more nutritionists in the schools. We need nutritionists even at kindergarten areas in order to make sure that we instill healthy eating into our population so that we can prevent these diseases. So both professions are very much needed by the country, and there is a high awareness about this, that it is needed. So I'm happy to let you know that we have been tracking our graduates from IMU. I think our degree in dietetics is now entering its 12th year. I think for nutrition also almost 8 years. And within 6 months of their graduation, all of them actually have at least 80 to 90% have actually gotten a job, right? So the track record here for dietetics is about 94% of them actually work as dietitians, and about 6 of them pursue postgraduate studies. So they go on to do their master's and PhD. Of course, you must remember dietetics is was established in IMU much longer. For all our nutrition graduates, 100% also receive employability, right? So even during COVID, so recently we have just graduated one cohort this year, and they underwent the MCO and COVID and so on. And we just recently received data as well to show that almost 70% have obtained employability in the area of nutrition and dietetics, in the field of nutrition and dietetics. So I think as more and more awareness on the importance of diet and lifestyle, there will always be, as long as people need to eat, that's what I always tell my students, I think they will always need a dietitian or a nutritionist. Right? So where do our dietetics graduate work? Majority of them work in clinical dietetics. So they work in hospitals. So right now, the hospitals that have employed IMU graduates include large hospitals, like IJN, like Asunta Hospital, KPJ Group, Pantai Group. Our graduates are there. Also the smaller hospitals as well as throughout the country. So if they work in the hospital, they do inpatient counseling, they do outpatient consultation, and some of them, majority of them are also in the Ministry of Health. So they get to do focus area of specialization as well. So, so most of our graduates, when they come out, they aspire to work in the clinical area, and they're still able to get jobs in the clinical area. Now, we do have also a very strong component of food service as how we train dietitians in the country and globally. So food service means that under the Malaysian standards, quality standards, for all hospitals or any facilities that provide patients, the dietitian is actually in charge of the quality of food that is and the therapeutic diets that's being put out. So therefore, they gain employability with companies, either directly with the hospital as food service dietitian, or with companies that actually provide food service as an outsource to hospitals, right? Or even into schools. So one of our largest employer is Sodexo, which is a company that actually provides food services to schools as well in clinical setting, and they hire IMU dietitians to work as food service dietitian. Now, food service dietitian doesn't mean that they don't do clinical or they're not trained in clinical. They actually are. But because some of these graduates are actually very interested in management, in people management, and also in food management, so they go into the food service area, okay? Now, the rest of the graduates also say that, well, I want to do more in the community. So I don't want to be confined to a hospital and so on. So with I then you can actually work in the community quite well. So we have Seow today, who is a dietitian, and she works in digital health. So she can talk more about her experience later. We have dietitians who work with retail pharmacies. They advise and do consultation with patients with diseases. The Sports and Health Sports Institute also hire dietitian to work with athletes who may have diabetes or, talking about fitness, talking about performance and so on. And we also have some of our graduates who are social entrepreneurs. In fact, more and more graduates now, they go on social media and they actually use their skill to benefit the public by forming their own company and also providing services, including even food, sending therapeutic or healthy food to the homes of their clients. So actually the sky is the limit. As long as you have that skill and as long as people are interested in eating healthy and interested in manage my disease with diet, you will have a job as a dietitian. For nutritionists as well, our nutritional graduates, most of them work with companies, right? So they go into promotion of good nutrition and health. They work with multinational food companies who require a nutritionist to help them with product formulation, help them with marketing, like how do I market this healthy food that I produce? So they require the skills of the nutritionist to help them to send out the correct messages, yeah? We also have nutritionist like Raanita later will be talking about how her experience working in the pharmacies to promote healthy eating amongst her clients. Some nutritionists work with nutrition supplement company, weight loss company, and also diagnostic labs, because that's where prevention happens. And when it comes to diet, they have to then hire a nutritionist to do that prevention part. Yeah. Now, the IMU program is also, we are very proud that if you join the program, definitely we have national benchmarking. In fact, we are the first program to obtain the accreditation from the International Confederation of Dietetic Association. And that the photo that you see down there is where we were actually given that certificate. It means that our curriculum is benchmarked internationally, and we meet the standards and quality that is expected on how to train dietitians for the global world. We do have graduates, by the way, who also work overseas. So having an IMU degree doesn't mean that you cannot work overseas. In some countries like Brunei and all that, they actually recognize IMU degree as dietitians. Yeah, we also have graduates who work in Singapore. Now, our curriculum is all about the real world experience. So even right from the younger semesters onwards, you're already exposed to the community. We also have training courses that we partner with our partner school, like in this case with Rutgers State University in the US. And we actually provide specific skills, all dietetic program provide, in order to make them enhance their clinical skill and they are more employable as well. Okay, so these are all the activities that you can look forward to. And for those who aspire to do more, you want to go into postgraduate studies, we have our partner schools. One is for postgraduate to enter, let's say if you're interested to get the US registered dietitian, you can actually join IMU, and then when you graduate, join Rutgers State University as an entry-level Master of Clinical Nutrition. So that is a partnership that we have. For undergraduate, if you want to consider going overseas to do the course, we have two partners. One is from the University of Newcastle, and also with Deakin University is for nutrition. So this is our first partner actually for nutrition. So if you want to take a nutrition degree in IMU and you think you want to transfer to Deakin, the possibilities are there. And Deakin is one of the top schools for nutrition in Australia. For dietetics, we have Newcastle University in Australia. Okay, so having an IMU degree does not, stop you from pursuing postgraduate studies later on after you have graduated. Yeah. So I think, Megan, I hand the mic over to you. I think that in a nutshell, I hope I've shared, and we can always take questions later to know more about this profession. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Winnie, for the very informative session. We all now can tell the various roles of nutritionists and dietitians locally and abroad. We now invite our first alumni speaker for today, Ms. Raanita Krishnamoorthy, to tell us more about her experience working as a nutritionist in Sunway Pharmacy. Ms. Raanita, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Dr. Megan. Hello, everyone. My name is Raanita. I graduated from IMU Bachelor in Science Nutrition program in 2018, and now I'm working as a nutritionist in Sunway Pharmacy. So my role as a nutritionist in a community pharmacy requires me to provide dietary consultations to clients. So my clients are from all walks of life, including seniors and also even the young adults. So it's very interesting for me because as more and more people these days are more interested in health, and they tend to recognize the importance of nutrition in maintaining health and also preventing diseases. And in the pharmacy, when a client comes to me and when they seek my input, and as a nutritionist, what I usually do is I first have a chat with them and I try to understand their nutritional habits, their eating habits, and their lifestyle. And only after that, I will provide dietary recommendations and also advices to help them meet their nutritional requirements. Because you see, nutritional requirements varies between age groups. So it varies between age group, gender, and also phase of the development growth. And when there is a need arises, for example, an increased physiological need, for example, during pregnancy. For instance, should the client couldn't meet their nutritional requirement, then I will come in place And I will try to advise them if they couldn't meet their nutritional requirement through their diet, then I would recommend them appropriate nutritional supplements and products based on the client's needs and means to also buy and also their lifestyle. And to support the client's health initiatives, I usually have a sit-down session with the clients at the pharmacy, and I discuss recommendations to help improve their health through physical activity or also health programs that we offer. And working in a community pharmacy, we work as a healthcare team. So I work very closely with my colleagues, which are pharmacists, of course. And over the time, I've been given more responsibility. 1 year, 8 months plus, I've been working there. And as a career growth and development, at first, I was just managing inventory and incoming stocks. But now I've been given more responsibilities. So like for now, I help to coordinate the overall marketing for the pharmacy. And since last year, I'm elated that I've been chosen to train all the staff in Sunway Pharmacy on anything related to nutrition. So it's very rewarding for me. And also, as you see, working in a community pharmacy as a community nutritionist, not only am I able to provide nutrition consultations, I'm also able to contribute beyond my job scope and learn more than what I can learn as a nutritionist. So it's really, really rewarding working in a community pharmacy. Thank you. Back at you, Dr. Megan.
Okay, thanks, Raanita. It's indeed wonderful to hear the major roles of a nutritionist in the community. It's also interesting to note how you are able to contribute to areas beyond nutrition. Ladies and gentlemen, do post your question in the Q&A panel. Our speakers will be taking all your questions at the end of the presentation. We now invite our second alumni speaker, Ms. Seow, to talk to us about her experience working as a dietitian in Naluri Hidup. Ms. The stage is yours.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Megan. Hi, everyone. My name is Seow. I graduated from IMU from Dietetics in 2014. I'm currently working as a head dietitian in a digital therapeutic company called Naluri. So in the company, I lead a team of dietitians from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines to provide nutrition care services online for patients and the publics who are using our app. So as a digital dietitians, we provide diet consultations virtually to clients through either text messaging function in the app, which where clients can chat with us, or have voice call via a dietitian care line that the clients can call us to inquire about any diet related concerns, or clients can also book video call consultation with us. We also look after clients' food intake by reviewing the food they eat every day by the photos they uploaded in the app. So in order to help them to achieve overall better health outcomes, for example, to manage their weight, to manage their cholesterol level, the blood sugar level, for their blood pressure, and also any other chronic diseases such as kidney disease and also cancer. I work very closely in a multidisciplinary care team, consists of a team of pharmacists, medical advisors, physiotherapists, we have clinical psychologists, we have pain specialists, where we work very closely in a team to have regular discussions to provide a more holistic care to our patients and our clients. So by working in a digital technology company as a dietitian, I'm also responsible to work closely with the data scientists and the software engineers to work together to see how we can continuously improve the system and the applications to improve the overall system with my healthcare experience that I have. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Megan.
Thank you, Ms. Ng. Indeed, there's many areas in our life that advance into digital world, including healthcare. Digitization of healthcare has opened up many career and new career opportunities for budding dietitians. Okay, thank you very much to all the speakers. We are now moving to the Q&A sessions. May I invite all speakers to be on board for the Q&A session?
Yeah, it looks like we've got quite a lot of questions coming in, right, Megan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to take this opportunity to pose the first question to Ms. Raanita and Ms. Ng. would you like to share with us why did you opt for a career in nutrition and dietetics?
I'll just start off. Why I opted for nutrition was because I always had a deep passion for food and health since I was in high school. And as I realized the importance of good nutrition, I wanted to impart this knowledge and make a difference to my family, my loved ones, and also in the society at large. And then I realized that this degree in nutrition would help me do that. Healthy eating and good nutrition is so important in all stages of life to ensure optimal growth in children and also maintaining health and preventing diseases amongst the adult population. So this is the main reason why I chose nutrition as a career. Thank you.
As for me, I developed the interest in mainly science, in particular disease-related health science in the secondary school time as well. So I always wanted to hope that I can work in the field of healthcare one day. So while I was exploring different courses available related to healthcare, then I actually realized that the potential job scope of either prescribing a medication or giving a standard medical treatment to patients were actually not what I was looking for. So then I started to search for whether is there a job that we can provide certain food to patients in a more natural way. So since I also enjoy cooking and reading about food, so I found that actually there is a profession called dietitian that perfectly matched my interest that time. And IMU was the only private university that provide a dietetic course locally that time. Yeah.
Okay, Prof, shall we take the questions from the Q&A
I think
panel?
so.
Yes.
Let's do
we
that.
have the first question. What is the highest academic qualification for a dietitian? Is it PhD? Is there any international recognized professional exam like MRCP?
Okay, yeah. So let's put it this way. In order for you to practice as a dietitian, at the moment now under the Allied Health Act, you only require an undergraduate degree. So you must have a bachelor's degree in dietetics, okay? So that is enough because of the nature of the training of dietitian is such that your final year for one whole year completely in the clinical and the food service area already. So that is deemed as adequate and you'll be in real world. That means you're training with real patients and you're being trained by also the dietitians in the hospitals. So that is considered sort of like your houseman, if you like. We do not have housemanship, by the way, for all our allied health professions at this point. So that the final year, therefore, is the most important training. And with that, you can actually come out and function as a dietitian with a bachelor's degree. However, look amongst dietitians in Malaysia, the highest qualification academically would be a PhD. So like Dr. Megan has a PhD in nutrition, I have a PhD also in nutrition. So a PhD and some universities, depending on the research that you do, if you do in dietetics, so then you'll be in that area, right? However, I think moving forward, globally, there are dietetic professional body offer specific specialized area certificate, right? So you could be gastrointestinal, for example, or pediatrics. We also have dietitians who have those specialized, certification. And moving forward under the Allied Health, we will also be registering specialists, right, or experts. So we don't call them specialists, we call them experts, right? So if you have a postgraduate degree of which you actually specialize or focus in a certain area, plus other plus that you do, then eventually you can also register as an expert. So I hope that answers that question. Yeah.
Okay. Prof, the second questions that we have, what is the requirement to do a degree program in NMD? Is there a scholarship for non-Malaysian
Okay, I think at the moment our scholarships are only for Malaysian. It's correct me if I'm wrong, Megan. I think it's mainly for Malaysians, but you can always come and have a chat with us to find out more. In terms of your minimum qualification, it's all on the website. And I think it's either depending on whether you come in with STPM foundation, there is a minimum qualification that you need to fulfill. Off top of my head, I cannot remember. Maybe Dr. Megan, you're more familiar. the specific qualification. It depends on what your pre-U qualification is.
Yeah. You can come in with a STPM or any other pre-Us that are recognized lah. For example,
But
foundation
there's
in sciences.
you must have a science
sciences,
background.
science,
And biology,
stream
I think, is compulsory.
The requirements are biology
Chemistry,
and chemistry,
yeah.
and a
Okay.
maths.
Yeah, so this is for both nutrition and dietetics.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, maybe we will have one question to Miss Raanita and Miss Ng. If I may ask, what is most rewarding to you in your career?
Most rewarding. My motto has always been health is wealth. And it brings me a great happiness after a sit-down session with the clients at the pharmacy. I actually get to see the appreciation in their faces just through their happiness through their eyes. And I'm also so happy for all my clients that come forward and tell me when they have seen huge improvements. And it really, really makes me feel very, very happy as a nutritionist. And they usually just come back and share with me this good news. And so I find that truly rewarding that I can share my nutritional knowledge and make a difference in other people's lives.
Seow?
Yeah, for me, similarly to Raanita, like nothing can be more rewarding than being able to impact someone's life, especially patients who are struggling to manage their disease. So by just empowering them with what I know, they will be able to do just very small changes in their daily food choices. They will be able to manage their disease better. Yeah, so this is something that is truly rewarding to me.
Thank you, both speakers. Prof, we have one question here. Is graduate or postgraduate program necessary? I think for employment and clinical skills, or is it more for research purposes?
I think we kind of answered the question just now. To practice as a dietitian, you don't need a postgraduate degree in Malaysia. So the postgraduate degree, I think, the need arises when you realize that you want to know more. So most of our students do postgraduate because they find that they want to know more about certain area, or they're interested to find some solutions into their work, for their work. So then they pursue a postgraduate degree. So postgraduate degrees in dietetics and nutrition in Malaysia can either be as a taught course, or it can be research-based. Yeah. So in IMU, we have by research-based. We have not come up with a taught course one, but in other universities, in public universities, you have taught course as well, right? Okay. So it's not so much for just pure research. You can gain more knowledge with postgraduate degree. I see there are a couple of questions here, Megan, that maybe one, we can cover a few questions about clinical practice.
Pretty similar and overlap. Yeah.
So
there's one about AHP. If I have a career, if I have a degree in dietetics, can I work as a nutritionist?
Okay. So basically, it's about the scope of practice. So I think, as I mentioned, under the allied health, if you have a degree in dietetics, you would register as a dietitian. Okay. So you register as a dietitian because and therefore, because we go by your basic degree, right? So when you register as a dietitian, your scope of practice is what you practice. So under the scope of practice for dietetics, for dietitians, the main focus would be for medical nutrition therapy, right? So as I say, I always consider nutrition and dietetics as conjoined twins. There are certain things that we do the same, right? So like Raanita is giving, you explained just now what you did in terms of assessing nutrition status, looking into their diet. So we do that as well as dietitians, and we also talk about prevention. But our main will be on medical nutrition therapy. So I hope that clarifies, yeah. But you would call yourself a dietitian rather than a nutritionist because you would register as a dietitian. Okay.
So there's one question about intakes for the two programs. We have one intake, considered July or September for intake for both the programs. Bachelor in nutrition and also Bachelor of Dietetics with nutrition.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, some questions on clinical training, Prof.
Okay. So if someone wanted to know how long is the clinical practical placement and where is it being conducted? Okay. So as I said, this is actually across 2 semesters. I think for nutrition, the placement, they also have a placement. you need to go to the, you need to have at least 1,000 hours of placement in nutrition program as well. That always happens in the final year. And similarly for dietetics, it's also in the final year, 2 semesters of clinical placement. You need to go through the rotation for dietetics, meaning food service, clinical, and also community. So these are all for clinical. It is a must. It's a program by program standard throughout the whole country. We must train in the Ministry of Health Hospital. That's because it's got the right case mix and case load for us to be able to cut across all the, the areas of medicine that requires medical mission therapy. So it's actually mainly in the public hospitals, right? So for IMU is HTJ in Seremban, next to our clinical school. Then you have a section of the placement where you do food service. This one, you can actually go to private hospitals as well as public hospitals for food service. Community is also very much open. In the IMU program, I think we are one of the few programs that actually have placement in private hospitals for our students, right? And also they tend to seek employability there. They also go to industry. For nutritionists will be in industry, and for dietitian will be long-term care setting. Digital health, I think our students go to Seow for their placement as well. So it's quite diverse in terms of the places that you go for placement. Yeah. Does that answer? Is there any more questions about placement? I think
yeah,
all, right?
how long?
We've that already. Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting question about how do you handle during this pandemic?
Yeah, during COVID situation.
Yes, the new normal. So actually for clinical placement, we have been quite fortunate that the ministry is very sensitive and know that our students need to have hands-on. Okay, so in order for them to go out and work as a dietitian, similarly with nutrition as well, they need to have the hands-on. So we are still allowed to train our students, but with very SOP and in smaller groups rather than in big groups, right? And for some, of course, about a third of the placement went online. But you notice digital health, like with Seow, right? So we do place students with her where they can still practice their dietetics training, but on the digital platform as well. So actually the students quite enjoy that because it's the future of their work, you know? Yeah. So, so not a big impact in terms of clinical right now. That's how we handle. For those that are on the earlier semesters, of course, we are doing hybrid learning now. Face-to-face only for essential skill, and then online for the rest of the didactic or theory component. So rest assured, if you come in, I think your training is not compromised entirely. Whatever we can't do in your first year, we will actually be catching up and doing it before you graduate by your 3rd or 4th year.
Okay. I think one question about working in overseas, I think Prof has covered it in the presentation. Yes, our alumni has been hired globally.
Yes, they can
do
work overseas.
They do work overseas. Do you need to decide if you want to take the credit transfer option in the first year of entry?
I think they preferably, right, Megan?
Yeah, preferably, yes.
We would like you to indicate to us that because we have to inform our partners to reserve the places. But we do allow still some before your 2nd year you must also decide you can switch option. Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to study the 2 courses at the same time?
Oh my goodness, yes, if you want to spend how many years in total? 4 years dietetic, 3 years of 5 years if you want to do both, but no institution in Malaysia. So actually you have to choose. You want to be a dietitian, or you want to be a nutritionist, and you study accordingly. But we share a lot of the courses, isn't it, Seow and Raanita? The first 2 years, you guys are classmates, you know. We share because the basis is nutrition science, like I say. It's only towards the senior year you start to differentiate. Okay, so not to worry about that.
Okay, perhaps this one, Raanita Seow can also help us with this. What personality or character you think would make a successful dietitian or a nutritionist?
There you go, the 2 personalities are here with us.
I would say the desire to help and the openness to help, and openness to learn. One would be that, communication, and yeah, willing to learn and willing to help, and putting others above you in professional way. Thank you.
Yeah, totally agree with Raanita. And of course, I would say as a dietitian or nutritionist, you have to be very patient in terms of listening actively to your patients, to your clients, to really understand their needs before you teach them. It's not like prescribing medication. Here you go, this is the medication. It's about understanding their needs and really make a change of their life that they will be comfortable practicing. Yeah.
Thank you, Seow, Raanita. We have a question about switching course. I think if the candidate is currently in IMU, I think we can you can reach out to your program coordinator to have more information on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
There must be a strong reason why you want to switch course.
Yeah, and need approval from the dean.
But it's not completely not allowed, of course. Some being young, you're not sure, and then you find, hey, I'm interested in that. But do it early. Don't go and switch your course when you're already in your final year. It's too late already.
We can help you. Do reach out to your program coordinator or to any of the IMU colleagues. Yeah. Okay. From Miss Sharon Tan, how long to complete PhD can we do all in IMU?
Can. PhD normally takes minimum 3 years. But normally you don't jump to a PhD straight away. You do a degree first and then probably a master's and then a PhD. But if you have first class honors, you can go straight into a PhD, convert to a PhD. Yeah. There's a question on salary. Interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, we always want to know after we study, how much are we going to earn, right? I actually saw a there's a company that actually looked into salaries, and there's actually, they did pay amongst dietitians. Very interesting. Yeah, and I was quite surprised. The maximum pay is 20,000.
Wow.
And that is with about 10 years of experience. And the minimum pay, starting pay is usually around 2,500 to 3,000, right? Or more, depending on the company. They said within 2 years, you can earn about 5,000 to 6,000 per month. This is per month. So not bad. I mean, the salary is comparable to most undergraduate degrees.
Yeah. Okay. Hope that satisfy and answer the question.
Don't be poor. Can live comfortably, Seow and Raanita?
Okay. Maybe a question to Raanita and Seow. How has COVID-19 pandemic affect your job scope and also your practice?
For myself, more people realize the importance of good nutrition and building strong immunity during this time. And so for my work, clients are coming forward to know more about the healthy diets that they can opt to, or either invest in nutrition in vitamins or multivitamins and supplements. And also they are more aware about it because also we use social media platforms to disseminate information about healthy eating and easier way to include healthier foods in your lifestyle during this pandemic. Thank you. Back to Joey.
Yeah, so as for us, of course, we know that pandemic has like increased the needs of digital health, definitely. So since last year, when we started MCO, the needs, the client loads have increased tremendously since last year, and also I also see a trend in terms of patients reaching out to us more, especially when they usually have to go to clinics for follow-ups regularly, while now they cannot go there. And during MCO, a lot of people also like struggling at home when they have a lot of snackings, they gain weight, and then they have problems managing their disease. So the request has been increased definitely, and people has been also requesting a lot about information about their nutrition and immune system. Want to know more how to improve their immune system during this period of time. So definitely we have seen a rise in terms of the trend. Also, people are more and more getting used to having digital therapeutics online, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To add on to that,
Yeah.
perhaps the question on clinical dietitian play a role as frontliners. If you are trained in ICU care, as well as there are medical nutrition therapies specific for COVID. So yes, they do play a role, especially if they're in the hospital setting. Definitely. Yeah. There's a very interesting question. Maybe we should answer it. It's about health at every size movement.
Yeah, Prof.
Megan.
What are your
So
thoughts?
yeah, so I think this is a good initiative because health at every size movement is trying to, take away the stigma and the prejudice for overweight and obesity. So basically, what they're saying is even you may be overweight or obesity, they actually to ensuring you practice healthy lifestyle and good diet, so that even at that particular weight, you're still healthy.
Yeah,
So
physically active.
yeah. So and the more important one is also the fact that you follow evidence-based. Don't go for fat diets or listen to advice from people who are not qualified. But otherwise, I think that's good.
Okay. There's one last question related
What do we
to
do?
program. Yeah.
How do you get ICDA? Wow. Okay. ICDA actually comes specific criteria. In fact, it's like a 10-page criteria that we need to demonstrate how do we control quality, assessment, delivery in our curriculum, right? And also our assessment, our rubric through our training. So that's how and you'll be seen by a group of accreditors who are independent and who are come from different countries, Australia as well as the United States, compared to the standards that they set and then tell us what the accreditation is. So the effort is tremendous actually, and we need to continue. Yes, we continue because they give us feedback, and then we have to again make the improvements and show it back to them. Yeah. So that's how the standards are being maintained. Whether we're at par with other countries, actually, I think the training of dietitians in Malaysia is already very good. In fact, we might be even better than those that's in here. Yeah. In fact, not IMU only, but also in Malaysia, the dietetic training is such that when you come out, you actually can work as a dietitian already. Right? So you're ready. But in some other countries, what they do is they still come out and they still have to go under the wing of a senior dietitian before they can function on their own. But Malaysia, we need them independent from the get-go, You graduate, come in, work, go and see your first patient. Okay, to the wards already. So I think this is the standard. So not necessarily that our standards is lower. I think our training is pretty good.
Okay.
Ranking of IMU for these courses. Well, actually, we do not have such ranking because there's no course specific ranking for dietetics and nutrition so far, right? We don't have it. Yeah. So we will probably say we rank ourselves. Yeah.
But for university-wise, Prof, about the SETARA?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, IMU as a university we are actually very happy to say that we got 6-star. And we are, I think, one of 2 private institutions.
Yes, one of the 2.
And
that's the highest
national ranking. So I think the sort of quality speaks for not only for one particular program, but across all programs. Thanks for reminding me on that.
Because we are all very proud.
Yeah, I forgot to mention it.
Is there more biology or chemistry in the course?
More biology, right?
Yes,
I would
more
say
biology.
Chemistry is important at the start, but after that is
more biology, looking at physiological functions and all.
But application is actually applied. I think nutrition science is not a difficult concept. It's not like, I don't know, astrophysics or something like that. No. I think if you've got a good ground of chemistry and bio, you can do it.
Yeah, agree. Raanita, shall we agree?
Rocket science, huh? Yeah.
Okay, I think we have taken all the questions, Prof.
Great.
Yeah, if there is no more questions, then we will call it a day.
Yeah, right
with
on
that,
time
ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are right on time to the dot. We have now come to the end of today's session. Very interesting, very informative sessions from all the 3 speakers. We hope that everyone has enjoyed the session as much as we do. Okay, it's time to say goodbye then. Okay, bye-bye and have a great evening ahead.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Great day.
Oh, yeah,
Stay
do
safe.
forget to join us for our virtual open day this Sunday, right? Yeah, this Sunday, 10 to 4 p.m. Okay, the website has been shared to you in the chat room, right? So do join us in the virtual sessions. Then you can meet more of the IMU faculties and also our colleagues in the session. Okay,
That's
with
right.
that, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye
Thank
and stay
you.
safe,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.